Every year, someone can make it to the All-Star game for the first time based on his or her own skills. In fact, just 3 years ago, 9 first-time All-Stars played in the 2020 game. Some of those players are now regulars and are likely to be in Salt Lake City on February 19. There are a lot of people who could follow in their footsteps and become first-time All-Stars. Let's take a look at the 5 players who have the best chance of making it to their first All-Star game in 2023. Starting us off, Tyrese Haliburton, Indiana Pacers. When the Pacers traded All-Star Domantas Sabonis for a package led by Haliburton last season, the thought was the 22-year-old guard could eventually become an All-Star. Few people thought it would happen this fast. Haliburton is leading the league in almost every key shot creation marker in his first full season with the Pacers. Second Spectrum tracking shows that his passes lead to more than 26 shots per game, which is the most in the league and more than Nikola Jokic, James Harden, and Paul, who are all All-Stars every year. His league-leading 10.9 assists per contest generate a whopping 28.9 points per game for Indiana, which is also the top figure in the association. Haliburton has also gotten very good at making shots for himself. This season, 76% of his shots were made without help from anyone else. According to Second Spectrum, Haliburton is the third most efficient of the top 50 most active unassisted shooters this season. He has had a 58.3% effective field goal percentage. The NBA average is 49.1, which puts him behind only Curry and Mitchell, both of whom are perennial All-Stars. Before the season started, ESPN's summer prediction said that the Pacers would finish with a record of 23-59 and be last in the Eastern Conference. The Pacers have a top 10 offense now that Haliburton is playing better. They have already won 10 games, which puts them in the top half of the Eastern Conference. The 2021 All-Star game was moved from Indianapolis to Atlanta because of the COVID-19 pandemic. This happened 2 years ago. Haliburton was picked for the first time for a good reason, and him making the All-Star team would help make up for that. Next, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Oklahoma City Thunder. Before the All-Star break, 62 NBA players averaged 30 points per game. 60 of those 62 were All-Stars, with 54 of those 60 being named as starters. Only Wilt Chamberlain in 1970 and Adrian Dantley in 1983 didn't. Both were hurt. So include Gilgeous name Alexanders this season. The 24-year-old Thunder combo guard is a top NBA scorer. He ranks third in the league with 31.1 points per game, behind Doncic and Stephen Curry of Golden State. Gilgeous' first Alexander's All-Star selection should be justified by his scoring average alone, but this rising star is more than just a bucket. One of the league's most active offensive players, he has driven the ball to the basket more than anyone else this season and has been in more pick-and-roll plays than all but 8 other ball handlers. Gilgeous-Alexander has used the ball more than Lakers forward LeBron James, Nets forward Kevin Durant, and Warriors guard Stephen Curry through 19 games. His offensive leadership benefits Oklahoma City. Gilgeous-Alexander helps the Thunder score 114.6 points per 100 possessions, 8th in the league. When he's not playing, that key number drops to 102.6, the league's worst offensive efficiency. He's a prolific, creative scorer. He has improved his handles, footwork, and shot types this season. The 35th percentile Gilgeous-Alexander shot last year was worth 1.02 points, according to Second Spectrum. The 74th percentile is 1.15 points this season. His efficiency has improved most due to his jump shooting. Gilgeous-Alexander was a top 100 NBA jump shooter last season. His jump shot field goal percentage was 44.7%, ranking 95th. In a make-or-miss league, he is 52nd with an E field goal percentage of 50.8. One of the few young stars who jump for mid-range shots is him. He is going against the NBA on non-paint twos. Only Durant, DeMar DeRozan of Chicago, and Joel Embiid of Philadelphia is making more mid-range shots than him. This young man is becoming one of the NBA's few mid-range masters. He can score like no other young player. He's approaching 50-40-90 numbers and becoming one of the league's most complete and efficient high-volume scorers. Only his 39.1% three-point shooting is below that holy trinity. Moving on, De'Aaron Fox, Sacramento Kings. The league is talking about the Beam Team. The Kings' offense is killing the rest of the league. It is led by Fox, who is having by far his best season in the league after 6 years. Fox, who is 24 years old, has made a name for himself as one of the fastest players on the court, and speed is still his most recognizable trait. When he is on the court, the Kings are the fastest team in the league. They get 104 possessions in 48 minutes, which is a very fast rate. Fox has always put up all-star worthy scoring numbers, averaging better than 20 points per game in each of the past 3 seasons. This season, he has upped his game even further, averaging a career-high 25.4 points while shooting career bests from two-point range, 60.2%, three-point range, 39%, and the free throw line, 81%. The Kings are winning games, which is more important than Fox's all-star case. During his career, Sacramento has never been higher than 9th in the Western Conference at the All-Star break. The Kings have been in 13th place at the break in 4 of the last 5 seasons. There is still a lot of time before the All-Star teams are chosen, but the Kings have won 8 of their last 11 games to move into 5th place in the West. This could put Fox and his teammates on track to end the longest postseason drought in major North American professional sports since 2006. That would definitely be good enough to make the All-Star team. Lauri Markkanen, Utah Jazz. Like Indiana and Sacramento, Utah was not supposed to be good this season. Well, the Jazz are, and Markkanen's breakout season is helping to fuel Utah's surprising start. The number 7 pick in the 2017 draft hasn't done much with the Chicago Bulls or the Cleveland Cavaliers, but now he's scoring more than ever. Markkanen averages 22 points per game, and Coach Will Hardy's offenses with lots of open space have helped Markkanen succeed in new ways. The 7-footer ranks 8th in the NBA in total field goals in the paint this season per Second Spectrum, and among the NBA's top 20 most active paint shooters this season, he ranks 2nd in efficiency, converting 66% of his shots in the lane. The NBA average is 57. This season, Markkanen is also shooting 36.5% from three-point range, but that's not the whole story. Second Spectrum says that Markkanen is the best forward this season and catch-and-shoot three-pointers. He has made 111 of them, which is 40.5% of the time. As a 7-footer, Markkanen's ability to spread out opposing defenses is a key part of Utah's wide-open offensive style. Markkanen was traded from Cleveland to Utah for Mitchell. He is a big man who fits the mold of a modern NBA big man. He's big, strong, skilled, and able to thrive as both a three-point scorer and an interior threat. For a player his size, his ability to both shoot and drive the ball from the perimeter to the basket is very impressive. This helps Utah's spaced-out offense and could give the Jazz an all-star from their own state this season. Lastly, Desmond Bane, Memphis Grizzlies. If it weren't for a sprained right big toe Bane suffered earlier this month, he'd be the player making the strongest case to debut in his first All-Star game. He stood out more than any other player at the start of the NBA season. In just his 4th game of the season, Bane outdueled both Durant and Kyrie Irving, scoring a career-high 38 points and adding 7 assists, tied for a career high, as the Grizzlies beat the Brooklyn Nets. Bane made 10 of 13 shots without help that night, giving him 26 points and showing the NBA that he was a much more well-rounded scorer than he had been in his first 2 seasons. Bane has become one of the best young players who can shoot three-pointers. He has made an amazing 43.6% of almost 900 three-point shots in his career, but in his first 2 years with the Grizzlies, most of those shots were set up by his teammates. Even though his numbers were already drawing comparisons to elite catch-and-shoot stars like Klay Thompson of Golden State, Bane's red-hot breakout this season has been fueled by self-created buckets, and his newfound skill as a scorer who doesn't need help is changing the way people talk about his ceiling. In his first season, he took 5 shots without help for every 100 possessions. The number went up to 10.1 last year. This season, it has gone up to 14.5, even though Bane plays next to Jay Morant, who is one of the most used teammates in the league. In pro basketball, a big part of being a superstar is being able to score well and often without help, which is something Bane has added to his game in year 3. Bane has had a great start to the season, but then he got hurt and had to miss a lot of games. Still, if he can get back to playing in December, he might have enough time to show that he should be an all-star again. Who do you believe will manage to reach this goal? Comment below. Till next time, cheers.